Madrid, the geographic and cultural center of Spain, sits at an average elevation of 650 meters, making it the second highest capital in Europe. It's also the second-ranked metropolitan area in the EU by both population and GDP after Paris, and often appears on top 10 lists of the world's most livable and important cities. With an average of 16 square meters of green space per person, every resident is within, at most, a 15-minute walk from a park. When in town recently, I was excited to explore one of its newest, Madrid Rio, an ambitious project that reinvented the only significant waterway here, the Manzanares River. Prior to its completion in 2015, the river was channeled and walled off by the M30 highway, creating a wide concrete dead zone that essentially divided the city in two. Even worse, another highway, the A5, blocked access to Casa de Campo, Madrid's largest park. So to solve this, the city held a contest of ideas, with the winning design reclaiming the banks of the Manzanares by burying the M30 and A5 in 46 kilometers of tunnels, so the river could return to a more natural state, with its banks doubling as a habitat for animals and residents to enjoy. Today, 10 years after its completion, this once depressing 10-kilometer stretch is now an urban park, connecting the 6 districts it passes through to each other and the center of the capital just up the hill. 7 newly installed or repaired dams help regulate the flow while also serving as pedestrian bridges, and wooden boards and fish ladders allow aquatic life to move throughout the ecosystem. As a result, biodiversity has taken off, with bird life especially improving. Herons and kingfishers are now a common sight. Madrid Rio even received Harvard's Green Prize in Urban Design, recognizing it as one of the world's premier public spaces. Another park that blew me away is El Retiro on the other side of the city. Originally a 17th century palace retreat for the Spanish monarchy, today Retiro spans 125 hectares of meticulously sculpted gardens, paths, pavilions, and ornamental ponds, like this one with bald cypress trees growing inside it. On the sunny, cool day I was there, it was a peaceful scene on the steps where the Palacio de Cristal meets the water's edge. A short stroll west leads to Plaza Mayor, the city's famous 400-year-old square. Its arcades and uniform facade contains 237 balconies for residences and galleries. Through the centuries, it's witnessed market fairs, bullfights, and public ceremonies both joyous and terrifying, like the sentencing of 117 people charged with secret adherence to Judaism during the Spanish Inquisition. Just around the corner is Puerta Del Sol, the symbolic kilometer zero of Spain's radial network, where all roads originate in the country. The old post office building was where dictator Francisco Franco's interior ministry thugs tortured dissidents. Today it is the office of the president of the Autonomous Community of Madrid. To mark the new year, its clock tower famously tolls, a celebration broadcast live to the nation like the ball drop in New York's Times Square. Presiding over it all is the regal statue of Charles III, a ruler so beloved by his subjects they nicknamed him the best mayor of Madrid. An enlightened 18th century king, Charles embraced modern science and intelligent reform, though he was also one of the empire's largest slaveholders. From this grand pedestrian-only square, Madrid's extreme walkability is apparent, with streets limited to traffic or completely car-free leading away in every direction. One heads east to the Calle de Alcalá, one of the city's oldest arterial thoroughfares, known as the Street of Bankers. It features the Fountain of Cibele, where Real Madrid's supporters and players traditionally gather to celebrate the team's championships, though over the years they've accidentally broken off both hands of the goddess of fertility. As one of the most expensive squads in professional football, it tracks that they'd celebrate right across the street from the Bank of Spain. Just up the road is the palace of José de Salamanca, a banker and businessman who was the richest man in the country and served as national finance minister. Powerful and corrupt, with close ties to the mother of Queen Isabella, Salamanca was responsible for the expansion of the city, Today, his former estate is the headquarters for the foundation of the Spanish bank BBVA. A little further north is the monument to Christopher Columbus, one of the most impactful people in human history. His expedition to the Americas triggered the Columbian exchange of species and cultures that continues to define modern life on our planet. Interestingly, this statue was moved from its former pedestal to accommodate the 12-meter sculpture Julia by Jaume Plensa, the same artist behind the crown fountain at Chicago's Millennium Park. Next door is the National Library of Spain, housing 30 million publications produced in the country over the last 3 centuries. Some surely document the building of the triumphal arch nearby, the Puerta De Alcala, which served as a grand entrance to the formerly walled city, one of several massive gates on the edge of the central area. Its advantageous position in the geographic center of the country has made Madrid the hub of the extensive Spanish rail network. Its Atocha station is the country's busiest and one of the main terminals in all of Europe. I traveled on high-speed trains in Spain that were going faster than 300 kilometers an hour. The Spanish high-speed rail network is now the second longest in the world after China's. Madrid's convenient metro is the third longest in Europe after Moscow and London, with the second most stations after Paris. The city and the public take good care of the cars and communal spaces, allowing the infrastructure to stay in service longer, keeping costs down for everyone. Combine that with Madrid's dense network of buses, and half of all trips here are made on public transport, a strong usage rate compared to other European cities. One of the metro's busiest stations is Gran Via. At its peak, this street was considered one of the most beautiful in the world, as evidenced by its eclectic mix of early 20th century revivalist architecture. To the west is the city's dedication to the Spanish language, the second most popular in the world by number of native speakers, behind only Mandarin Chinese. The Plaza de España features a monument to Spain's greatest writer, Miguel de Cervantes. His characters Don Quixote and Sancho Panza emerge in bronze, and surrounding reliefs evoke scenes from the book that's considered the first modern novel. Another relic of the past can be found on the eastern edge of the city, the country's largest bullring. A 23,000-seat arena framed by neo-Mudéjar brickwork and glazed ceramic tiles. Bookending the heart of the city on its western edge is the Royal Palace, lording over Madrid's skyline. Conceived by Philip V in 1735, it occupies the space on which the original Muslim fortress stood that established the settlement of this area 1,200 years ago. It's the largest building still functioning as a royal palace in all of Europe, with an astounding 3,400 rooms and 135,000 square meters of floor space. In 1978, its outdoor spaces and gardens were finally opened to the public, including the Plaza de Oriente, featuring statues of past kings of Spain in order of their time on the throne. Ironically, they all face a large monument to King Philip IV, whom the decline of the empire is most associated with. Inside the ornately decorated palace is one of the world's largest art collections, works that are now displayed on rotation in the galleries of the Prado Museum, the most important cultural institution in the country, located across town. This rich tapestry of art, architecture, and urban invention makes Madrid one of the world's most magnetic capitals, a city that's proud of its past, but lives in the moment. Hasta pronto, España.